Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and compare the Apple Pencil 1 and compare it against the Apple Pencil 2nd generation and see how both these Apple Pencils hold up in 2023. Now, with these two Apple Pencils, I will definitely tell you massive differences between them. Like I mentioned early on, actually, since I picked up my first Apple Pencil, which I think was around 2020, I realized that the difference between the Apple Pencil 1 and the Pencil 2 are massive. And in my opinion, you are much better off if you just probably avoid something or avoid an iPad that only supports Apple Pencil 1. Considering that Apple Pencil 2 is significantly better, there may be a reason why the Apple Pencil 1 is better, which I'll talk about in a second. But for a majority of you, if you have the ability of buying an iPad that basically has Apple Pencil 2, I would recommend going down that direction. The iPad Mini 6, the 2018 iPad Pro and onwards support Apple Pencil 2, the iPad Air 5, the iPad Air 4. The only iPad that Apple sells right now that doesn't support Apple Pencil 2 are the iPad 10 and the iPad 9. So if you're trying to buy a brand new one, basically you have all the other ones to basically do that with. If you want to pick up any of the Apple Pencils, those will be linked down in the description below too. So you can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, a big thing I want to mention first of all is that if you currently have an iPad that already supports one Apple Pencil over the other, there's really not that much you have to do. You can just go and buy whichever Apple Pencil you prefer, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Both of these Apple Pencils are not interchangeable. So you cannot go and buy an iPad that supports, Apple Pencil 1 and get Apple Pencil 2 on it. That's not how it works. So if you don't already have that capability, then there's not a big difference or a big reason to pick up one over the other, because you have to remember these Apple Pencils are not interchangeable between the iPads. Now, the biggest difference and the main thing that I do like about the iPads that support Apple Pencil 2 or the Apple Pencil 2 in general is the charging capability. The Apple Pencil 2 is a much easier device to charge for the most part than the Apple Pencil 1. On the Apple Pencil 1, you have kind of the same size Apple Pencil for the most part. I think the first gen is a little bit longer, but the thing you have to remember is that the Apple Pencil 1 has that cap at the very top that you can actually take out. Now, the problem I would say for the most part with that type of cap is that if you go ahead and take it off and you take it out, again, you have to remember that you have to, put it back and you have to charge your Apple Pencil via the bottom of that lightning port on that iPad. So that can be kind of a problem for some people, and some people may not even like that at all. Personally, for me, with my iPads that support it, I'm not a fan of it, and I personally would try avoiding that as much as I can. With the, Apple Pencil 2, these are much easier Apple Pencils to charge, mostly because you're able to go ahead and plug them at the very top of your iPad, and they just charge there and they sit there. It's a super easy process, or it's an easier process than what the Apple Pencil 1 is. I've seen a lot of people break their Apple Pencil tips at the very end, plugging it into the iPad. That is also a very annoying thing, which can cause lots and lots of issues. And personally for me, that in and of itself is the biggest reason why I prefer something like an Apple Pencil 2 over the Apple Pencil 1. Now, some other key things to remember too. With the Apple Pencil 2, this Apple Pencil, they both at the very end have a removable tip. So you can go ahead and unscrew the bottom tip of both of these Apple Pencils. And that's a cool thing. If for some reason it's a broken tip or it's not working or it's not functioning right, you can always unscrew the bottom, screw it in another one if you want to. And that's another option you have there. Another cool thing going on though with the Apple Pencil 2 is that you do have a little flat edge on the side of that Apple Pencil. Now that gives you one cool feature. And that specific feature is the ability of pretty much double tapping the end of that Apple Pencil, and you're able to go ahead and kind of use a couple of custom, options. So you can go ahead and have it interchange between like an eraser within the Notes tab to another thing. You can double tap it to change a couple other options as well. So that is something that's not really there on the Apple Pencil 1. Like you don't really have that type of capability there. But with the Apple Pencil 2, you do have that type of capability there just right there. So I think that's another cool thing going for the Apple Pencil 2. But beyond that, for the most part, there's not a lot of other differences. I mean, those are exactly the main differences or the main gripes that I personally have between both of them. I think some other smaller things, maybe like how the Apple Pencil feels, the Apple Pencil 2 feels. I like it a little bit more because of that flat side. It kind of allows you to kind of hold it a little bit better. I also feel like that magnetic tip at the very end of the Apple Pencil 1, where you basically remove it to charge the cap, I'm not a fan of it at all. I've never been a fan of it. And I think that would deter me, that in and of itself would deter me enough to basically not buy any of those Apple Pencils, to be honest. So I will tell you, there's a difference for sure between them. If the Apple Pencil 1 is the only one you have, then I would recommend keeping it. For a lot of people who use the Apple Pencil 1 now, I'm sure they are totally fine using it and they're not even complaining as much as I am, but complaining is kind of my job, so I kind of have to say some gripes. The Apple Pencil 2 is definitely a big step up, and if you have an iPad that supports it, I would 1000% recommend going through and buying an Apple Pencil 2 or an iPad that supports Apple Pencil 2 over Apple Pencil 1. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.